The top 5 best scary paintings. Number 1. Hell, Hans Memling. Man as well as woman, devil as well as dragon, dog and bird, this vicious critter is dancing on the damned as they burn in eternal hellfire. Memling heaps up the horror, so that the inferno broils within the jaws of a colossal fish, and the demon holds a banner emphatically denying the possibility of hope. In hell there is no redemption. The scene is part of a larger altarpiece intended to frighten 15th century churchgoers into far better behavior. But the notion of a torso that can talk was catnip to those modern shock merchants, the surrealists. Number 2. The Nightmare, Henry Fuseli. It is the worst dream in art and by far the most famous, an archetype to outclass Sigmund Freud. The sleeper in her virginal nightgown lies redded on the bed like a sacrificial victim, throat stretched bare as if for the blade. On her stomach squats an excremental troll. His pricked ears cast horn-like shadows on the curtains behind her, which are, in turn, thrust apart by the head of a wild-eyed stallion. Even those blind to the intimations of rape, bestiality, voyeurism and murder can feel the power of Fuseli's metaphor, the nightmare as nocturnal violation. The nightmare was meant to cause nightmares. Number 3. Electric Chair, Andy Warhol. The dreadful injunction silence glows in the gloom of Andy Warhol's electric chair, as if describing the future for whoever has been slaughtered in that seat. The restraints lie slack on the ground after the corpse has been removed and the darkness speaks of some shadowy no man's land. The silkscreen print takes the original photograph to the verge of dissolution with its blurry overlays, so that one can hardly grasp what is going on in this desolate scene. Everything I do is connected with death, remarked Warhol, and it seems particularly true of his silkscreen images Widowed Jackie, the skulls, the car crash sequences, and, above all, the electric chairs. Number 4. The Ghost of a Flea, William Blake. The flea is reincarnated as an irreducibly eerie hominid, haunting the night corridors with the bowl in which he collects human blood. Hunched and scaly, tongue whisking between his lips, he carries his knife and cup of gore with horrible purposefulness, a far more substantial creature than his insect counterpart. According to his friend John Varley, Blake saw the ghost in a vision. The flea told him that fleas were inhabited by the souls of such men, as were by nature bloodthirsty to excess. Blake may have been teasing the credulous Varley with this flea talk, but the vision is beyond mundane imagining. Number 5. Saturn devouring his son Peter, Paul Rubens. According to some versions of the Greek myth, Saturn, or Kronos, believed he was destined to be overcome by his own sons, so he devoured each of them as newborns to defeat the prophecy. Rubens painted this horror story quite differently from Goya, who shows a monster biting the head off a grown man. In this painting, Saturn is a ruthless murderer intent on the programmatic consumption of his own baby, starting with the infant's tender chest, as if it were the succulent flesh of a chicken. Rubens evokes cannibalism inch by tiny inch.